going on? So, it's late. I'm doing laundry. I am still awake. Everybody else is asleep right now. Got nothing else to do. I figured why not do another update on what's going on in the 7-inch boxes there. Go on in that magical journey. Played some Dungeons and Dragons tonight. As a side note, let you guys know what other fun activities I have going on in my life. Kicked a little ass. Took on some undead orcs rather. We killed ogres last campaign. Last game rather. A lot of fun. Gotta love that burning hand spell. Just takes them out so good. We are listening to Abscess. Picked up this tape off of the Skogs. If you aren't aware, it's a Autopsy side project. Very punker version of Autopsy. Super raw. Urine Junkies. Pipe sticker. Ooze 18 porno freakographic grinding death classics. Guaranteed to make your knees buckle. Features Chris and Danny from Autopsy. And there's a little spoon on there so that you can shoot up piss. Depravity. It's funny because I'm kind of a Boy Scout in real life, really. Pretty moral person. Flaccid. Going right in here after Fit for Abuse and the Fs. This band was actually from Salem. I didn't know that. This is from 2013. Boston area, 80s style, hardcore stuff. Doesn't sound like it's trying to be from a specific region or scene from that time period. It's pretty good. Almost seems like it could be something out of the Midwest, you know, like maybe they could have been playing with Die Kreutzen and like Touch and Go bands and stuff like that. Kind of snotty, really, really tight. Great drummer, whoever he is. I don't know if these guys still live here or what, but it's good. I like the, a lot of punk records have this, and I think a lot of the DIY, screamo-ish stuff from the 90s bands have this, with the stamping for the colors. It's kind of a J-card sort of thing. It's nice, it's a nice touch. It's a good record. After that, next in my little play box in the alphabet, we have Paul Speckman's crossover project here. Funeral Bitch. A couple of songs made it to be master songs. I think he still plays the song Funeral Bitch live. It's on it's both demos, one on each side. Long 7-inch. Feels like it's at least like, I don't know, over 10 minutes on each side, but it's really good. The sound quality's fine. I mean, it's demos, so it doesn't really matter. Lot faster than the master material, almost like blasting level stuff. Funeral Pit. This is an Australian project. As the very helpful label informed me, it has members of Gospel of the Horns, Destructor, and Damaged. Damaged was a grind band that I had a CD of for a while that featured Kevin Sharp from Brutal Truth. That was a really good CD. I don't know why I got rid of it. Anywho, this is black thrash with a little bestial bent to it, bestial, however that's supposed to be pronounced. Oh, excuse me. On Dissident Records. Very, very good stuff. Was a blind buy years ago at the first Armageddon Records. It's still there, the Providence location. I just picked it up because I thought it looked cool. This is one of the better hardcore bands to come out in the past couple of years. California band, Fury. They put out a full length here last year that completely smoked. Certain kind of comparisons sound-wise to Burn and Turning Point. Kind of the posy sort of vibe that Uniform Choice had. A very cool mix of styles. Very technically proficient. Super raging. I recommend that and the LP if you like that kind of hardcore for sure. Buffalo Band. Once again, this one's a hardcore band called Gas Chamber. This is a guy named Pat who was in a band called Running for Cover that were more of a straight up kind of very well executed power violence sort of band. This kind of has that sort of feel to it as well, except the bass is really echoey and almost louder than the guitar. Has some weird sort of effect on it, and it has almost kind of like a post-punk kind of bass sound to this, like over this like screaming and almost growling vocals, and it's a very unique band. This and the LP are great. I have a new stand. This is a little arm thing. It looks almost kind of Seussical because I was too cheap to buy a tripod. So if this bounces a little bit, that's because I'm cheap and I've got sick of taping my phone to my chair. After that, Genocide SS. No song titles on this. It's all numbers. And for some reason it looks like this is stuck inside the jacket, so I don't want to rip it. I'm going to leave it like that for now. If you know Genocide SS, you know it's some of the most brutal, for lack of a better term, DB, but really angry, discharge-heavy influence, grindy punk rock. Has the gentleman from Nazem that passed away in the tsunami. Very, very unfortunate, big loss. Have everything by them, I'm pretty sure. All three of their full lengths too, and it's all great. GISM, Anarchy, Violence. This is a weird release. Not sure if it's official or not. Hopefully nobody goes after me if it's not. It's about like half the songs from the Detestation LP. I believe it's on clear. Ooh, it's kind of weird, clear, marbled. Kind of a smoky thing. You know, if you want to hear me gush over GISM, you can check out my 25 records that got me into hardcore and punk video. Very odd, garbled, Japanese, hardcore / metal, blazing twin guitar leads, crass production, like Crass is in the band Crass Records, like very rough tin can kind of production. Very, very weird stuff, very strange lyrics. Really, really great though, really good. Another early Detest single, Detest Records. Oh dear God, we'll get that in a moment. Shit can be hazardous, man. Gravehammer. Ensnared in Dismal Blasphemies. This is good. This was a period where I was buying everything that this label put out. It's definitely Scandinavian style fast death metal in the old way, ancient sounding. I remember it being pretty fast. I have not thrown this on in a long time. Alright. Hammer and the Nails. This is great. Street rock, oi kind of stuff. One of the members, not on this record, but one of their newer members plays in Battle Ruins. It's very, very good, not cheesy oi. Great lyrics that are smart and well thought out about just modern existence, getting by, that kind of thing. Super hooky. You can tell they've done their homework with other types of music, especially maybe a lot of 70s hard rock stuff. Gruff vocals like you have in that genre very often, Foreskin's kind of vocals, a little bit more sung. Great, great stuff. You, again, even if you don't like oi, check that band out. If you like just rock and shit. No fucks given. I like this record. I like the first album too, by Hatebreed. It's not clear. This is some of the easily the dirtiest thing they ever recorded. Super brutal and stripped down for Hatebreed. At the time, I was just like, well, they kind of sound like Integrity. They kind of have parts that remind me of Bolt Thrower and parts that remind me of the Cro-Mags. I don't see the problem. I still like a lot of their stuff. I could care less. Who likes them? After that, we got this. Hatred. This is, I guess, a boot of their demo from 1986. Incredibly obscure, early death metal from the swamps of Joyzy. It's really good. I try to find stuff on this band and I can't. I come up pretty dry. They had a song on a Death Records comp, I think the second one, which I've been meaning to purchase. It goes for really cheap. But yeah, I mean, you can imagine songs like Festering Puke, Bloody Guts, Human Sacrifice. I mean, if this actually came out in '86, it came out before Scream Bloody Gore. So I don't know. I don't know what. It's shrouded in mystery, but good, raw, stripped down. Definitely thrash based, but still, you know, a beginning of death metal band. you know, not too dissimilar from early Death and Possessed and stuff like that. The Icemen, this is an early Reaper Records release. This had Mackie Jason, who was later in the Cro-Mags. It sounds pretty pre-proto Cro-Mags. It's very, very, very Motorhead sounding, but with, you know, played by guys from New York that probably were into the Bad Brains too, as the Cro-Mags kind of had honed their sound that way. 2 songs, it's from a demo. This band was around for a while and completely mutated into something else. I don't like their other EPs as much nearly, but this is only 2 songs, but it's great. I think Reaper still has copies, so if you want to cruise over there, get some Turnstile, get some Icemen. Inepsy, this is a Flexi that a buddy of mine gave me. Anti-System, if you're not familiar with Inepsy, it's a bunch of punk rockers from Montreal playing Motorhead worship sounding stuff. Great visual aesthetic, great art. This is a good song. It was recorded for the See You in Hell studio session, but was put in the can for one reason or another. Like most Flexis, it doesn't sound very good, but the music itself is great. Innumerable Forms. On Hell Massacre. Hell Massacre is the metal imprint for Painkiller Records, which is a hardcore label. Hell Massacre has put out... What else did they put out? They put out Magic Circle 7-inch. They put out that Eternal Champion, some other stuff. Like I said, this owes a lot to the Finnish bands of yore, but also there's enough creativity in there where it's not uninspired. It's great, doomy, dark, grisly death metal. Insanity. Demo 85, another Snake Pit magazine extra. I love Insanity. This is a rehearsal recording. Definitely drops out in parts. It's hard to tell what's going on, but if you're a huge fan of the band, which I am, shouldn't bother you. Brutal death thrash stuff. Incredibly fast. Band was way ahead of their time. Into Darkness. As you can imagine, if you like winter, this is a nod to those New York greats. They're Italian. Into Darkness is. Yep. Definitely some crawling, doomy death metal here. And you can certainly hear the winter influence, but there's other bands that come to mind too. You know, all the early Peaceville stuff and a little bit of maybe Thurgathon and some other shit. It's really good. I feel like they've only recorded like 5 or 6 songs tops. I have a CD that has the songs from this and like a few other songs. I think they recorded like a demo and it got split up onto some other releases. Oh, this is the Intoxication I was talking about that was originally called Suffocation. And much like the Flesh Crawl EP, it's super raw and just super primal early 90s death metal stuff. You know, it has all that lovely inept quality that I really like with all these 7-inch releases. It's on Drown Productions, which is a label where I'm like, oh, I'd like all of that, please. But we'll see if I actually track all that stuff down. I'm not very good at being a completist, but yeah, real mean Spanish stuff. Good band from the Spanish scene. Spain, right? Yes. Got some Iron Boots. This is a band that sounds exactly like early Warzone. Warzone was a late 80s skinhead band from New York, anti-racist, patriotic, very fast, much in the ways of like Youth of Today and Judge and stuff like that, Agnostic Front, Cro-Mags, that kind of sound. They had a lot of tasty leads though. I think that was one thing about Warzone that always stood out. They had some good lead guitar work and a real crazed sounding singer named Rabies, who is no longer with us. Iron Boots is not trying to do anything other than sound almost exactly like them in their prime, and there's nothing wrong with that because Warzone rules. I'll just show these real quick. I went to Maine a year and a half, 2 years ago, decided I was going to buy a bunch of these reissued singles of Iron Maiden. 45s, which I thought were pretty cool. We got the running free there with Burning Ambition on the flip. We got Women in Uniform and Invasion. Sanctuary, Drifter, and we got the Fire. I've got the Fire. You've got the Fire. And fan favorite, the Trooper. Cross-eyed Mary on the back. Brings us to the letter J, which is mercifully short. How am I doing? I'm actually doing pretty good on time for once. Jesus Chrust. This is, it's two guys from Psycho, who are a legendary Boston grind band. Started out as like just a punk band and kind of evolved into like a grindy death kind of thing. Psycho did a split with the Gathcles. They've been around forever. They still play. Bunch of sweethearts. The drummer Charlie runs a great distro, Infection Distro. He's put out a lot of records. This was his imprint, Fudgeworthy Records. It's really twisted, punky grind kind of stuff. The vocals are, I'm not sure if it's intentional or not, but bordering on like black metal. Super shrieky, blown out recording. Really evil paced, like frenetic stuff with the occasional sludgy number. 17 songs, 7-inch. 17. Cool picture disc. That's pretty neat. There's an ad in here. I won't pull it out because I don't want another 7-inch exploding all over the place on me. There's an ad in here for two other Fudgeworthy releases. One is the Bulge solo project, which is a Psycho side project, and the other one is Bulge with G.G. Allen. So these guys were tied in with the G.G. Valuable information. And just a little, not that I needed this, you know, I have the full length, but single for Love Will Tear Us Apart. It's got transmission on the other side. Well, actually, I mean, if you're a nerd for Joy Division, these are alternate versions mastered from the Martin Hannett tapes. I believe it's on purple. That's a nice shade of purple. There you go. Alright, well that was relatively painless. I am doing stuff for a while, and I don't want to, you know, oversaturate you guys with my ugly mug, so probably won't update until next week, unless I get really bored. But I have a son who's very young and a bunch of stuff to do, so it'll probably won't be till another sleep-deprived Thursday morning kind of update before I do one of these again. Yeah, that's it. I gotta hit the John. You guys have a good night. Like, comment, let me know what you think. Peace out.